Hi, and thank you for visiting my channel. For more information, kindly subscribe and follow. Now let's get started. The feud between Roman Reigns and CM Punk seems inevitable, but the most intriguing element of their rivalry is Paul Heyman. The Wiseman made his return before Survivor Series War Games alongside CM Punk. The Second City Saint aided the OG bloodline, but in return, he requested a favor from Heyman that has yet to be revealed. Amid this, a shocking possibility has emerged that the special counsel could betray both Roman and Punk by unveiling Drew McIntyre as his newest client. The Scottish Warrior has fully embraced his villainous persona and has already set his sights on the OG bloodline members. With each passing week, the chances of him temporarily aligning with Solo Sikoa to dismantle Roman Reigns' faction seem increasingly likely. To elevate McIntyre's heel turn to a new level, pairing him with Paul Heyman could be a strategic move. Earlier this year, Heyman and McIntyre were seen having a secret conversation on Raw, adding fuel to the speculation. In a potential scenario where Drew targets the OG bloodline and destroys its members one by one, Heyman could reveal his true allegiance. The former advocate might disclose that he has been secretly working with McIntyre all along, aiding him in his mission to take down the original bloodline. This betrayal would culminate in McIntyre being unveiled as the newest Paul Heyman guy. Such an alliance between Drew and Heyman would undoubtedly generate massive buzz in the WWE universe. This would also be a shocking twist for both Roman and Punk, as Heyman has strong ties with both men, while McIntyre remains one of their fiercest rivals. It's important to note that this storyline is purely speculative and based on assumptions about what might happen next. Meanwhile, the original tribal chief is set to face Solo Sikoa in a tribal combat match for the Ula Fala on January 6, 2025. As for the best in the world, CM Punk will finish his business with Seth Rollins on the Raw Netflix debut show. It remains to be seen how the storyline progresses and what pivotal role Paul Heyman might play in the unfolding drama. Paul Heyman's actions could lead to a major WrestleMania match in 2025. WrestleMania 41 next year could feature a monumental showdown driven by the actions of Paul Heyman. According to recent reports, there is a possibility of a match between Roman Reigns and CM Punk at the grandest stage of them all. This suggests that Paul Heyman's actions might serve as the catalyst for this highly anticipated Mania match. The favor that Punk owes Heyman could lead to a confrontation with the original tribal chief. As the road to WrestleMania 41 begins, the best in the world might cash in this favor, setting up a blockbuster match against Roman Reigns at the show of shows. A clash between Roman and Punk would be an exciting addition to the WrestleMania card, with the potential to generate massive ticket sales. The world of professional wrestling thrives on surprises, twists, and betrayals, but few moments have the power to leave fans utterly stunned. When Roman Reigns and CM Punk both find themselves victims of betrayal in a single, shocking moment, orchestrated by none other than Paul Heyman, the wrestling world is forever changed. This story explores the possibility of such a dramatic turn of events. Roman Reigns, the tribal chief, has held WWE in the palm of his hand for over 3 years. His dominance, charisma, and alignment with Paul Heyman have made him nearly untouchable. Meanwhile, CM Punk's controversial return to WWE brought with it a tidal wave of intrigue. Aligning with Heyman once more, Punk believed he had rediscovered the magic that propelled him to the top of the industry a decade ago. But wrestling alliances are fragile, and Paul Heyman is a master manipulator. The seeds of betrayal were quietly planted in the months leading up to the explosive reveal, as subtle tensions simmered beneath the surface. The betrayal unfolded during a marquee event, one of WWE's signature pay-per-views. Roman Reigns was set to defend his undisputed WWE Universal Championship against CM Punk in a dream match that fans had clamored to see. The storyline had been built meticulously, with Heyman caught in the middle, seemingly torn between his loyalty to Reigns and his history with Punk. In the weeks leading up to the match, Heyman played his role to perfection. He delivered passionate promos, hyping both competitors while subtly sowing doubt about his true allegiance. The audience was divided. Would Heyman remain with the tribal chief, or would he reunite fully with his old ally Punk? The match itself was a classic, a brutal clash of egos, styles, and legacies. Reigns and Punk traded blows and taunts, each determined to prove their dominance. Heyman's constant presence at ringside added another layer of tension, his facial expressions revealing nothing about his intentions. As the match reached its climax, the referee was inadvertently knocked out, a classic trope that always signals chaos. Both Reigns and Punk were down, and Heyman slid into the ring, holding the Universal Championship belt. The crowd roared, anticipating a decisive moment. Heyman stood between Reigns and Punk, the belt clutched in his hands. He glanced at Roman, then at Punk, his expression conflicted. Slowly, he extended the belt towards neither of them. Instead, he handed it to a towering figure emerging from the shadows. The audience erupted in shock as the newcomer stepped into the spotlight, Bron Breakker. The second-generation superstar, known for his explosive power and undeniable potential, had made his presence felt in NXT but had yet to cement his place on the main roster. Heyman's choice to align with Breakker was a calculated move to usher in the next era of dominance. Breakker wasted no time making his intentions clear. He hoisted Reigns onto his shoulders and delivered a thunderous powerslam, leaving the tribal chief motionless in the center of the ring. Punk, struggling to his feet, attempted to confront the new threat, but Breakker countered with a devastating spear that echoed through the arena. Heyman raised Breakker's arm high, a sinister smile on his face. The crowd, caught between shock and awe, erupted into a cacophony of boos and cheers. The betrayal sent shockwaves through the wrestling world. Reigns and Punk, two of the industry's most polarizing figures, now found themselves united by a common enemy. Heyman's decision to abandon both men in favor of Breakker was seen as a ruthless, business-savvy move, one that solidified his reputation as the ultimate opportunist. Roman Reigns, furious and humiliated, vowed revenge. The tribal chief's character, already teetering between hero and villain, took a darker turn as he focused all his energy on dismantling Breakker and reclaiming his dominance. CM Punk, on the other hand, saw the betrayal as validation of his long-standing mistrust of Heyman. His promos became even more fiery and personal, targeting both Heyman and Breakker with scathing rhetoric. Punk's renewed intensity reignited his connection with fans, positioning him as an unlikely anti-hero in the battle against Heyman's new faction. For Bron Breakker, the betrayal marked the beginning of his ascension. Under Heyman's guidance, he quickly became a dominant force on the main roster. Heyman's expertise in crafting superstars ensured that Breakker's potential was realized to the fullest. Together, they declared war on the WWE roster, claiming that Breakker was the future of the industry. Heyman's alliance with Breakker also signaled a shift in his character. No longer content to play second fiddle to established stars, Heyman positioned himself as the architect of wrestling's future. He embraced his role as a kingmaker, challenging the status quo and defying fan expectations. The storyline allowed for compelling matchups and character development. Reigns and Punk, despite their animosity, were forced to work together to combat Breakker and Heyman's influence. The uneasy alliance between the two created captivating tension as they struggled to trust one another while pursuing a common goal. Meanwhile, Breakker's reign of terror included battles with some of WWE's biggest names, solidifying his status as a main event player. His raw power and athleticism, combined with Heyman's strategic brilliance, made him a nearly unstoppable force. Paul Heyman's betrayal of Reigns and Punk will go down as one of the most shocking moments in wrestling history. It served as a reminder that in WWE, alliances are fleeting and loyalty is often a facade. Heyman's decision to align with Breakker was a calculated gamble, one that paid off in the short term but left a trail of chaos in its wake. For Roman Reigns and CM Punk, the betrayal marked a turning point in their careers. It forced both men to confront their vulnerabilities and adapt to a rapidly changing landscape. Their eventual showdown with Breakker and Heyman promised to be a defining moment, not just for their legacies, but for the future of WWE. As the dust settled, one thing became clear: Paul Heyman's ability to reinvent himself and his alliances ensured that he remained one of the most compelling figures in wrestling. His shocking betrayal of Reigns and Punk was a masterstroke, a moment that would be remembered and debated for years to come. And for Bron Breakker, the opportunity to step into the spotlight as Heyman's chosen one was the beginning of a journey that would shape the future of WWE. A journey built on the shattered trust of two of wrestling's greatest icons.